I don't want us to be so introspective. It's not really about us. It is. But it's about God and Satan. He's gone against everything that God wants us to have. Work. He doesn't want us to work at the sweat of our brow, but because of sin, yeah, we do. You know what I mean? And he's gone against families. Do you know how many wives and husbands are married? And they're both working. And the husband's lost his job and made redundant, but the wife still got hers. How can a family survive that? It's important for a man to have a job. It's important for him to provide. And if she's providing now, it's still beautiful. But can you imagine how that man feels? They've gone against families. You know? They've gone against families. They want contention, they just want a man to sit down his fucking backside and do shit. You know what I mean? Make it... I know now. Download, remember? Going against families, going against how we care for it, going against our conscience, going against our family values. The things we used to do that made us civilised and decent, we can't do it anymore. Or not in the way that we used to. Hardly can do it. And that goes against even people's beliefs. Especially when they're religious, you know what I mean? It's going against everything. So you know that it's Satan trying to get the strong man. But he can't get to the strong man because he's afraid. So he gets to the children and tries to fuck up their life every single way possible. You know? And when daddy hasn't got a job, what do you think is going to happen? When dad hasn't got a job? And some men, you've got to be careful because you'll probably feel resentful towards your wives or feel really... But it's not their fault. They never created the cov. You know what I mean? And you need the income, you're still paying the frigging mortgage. Because the government's going to do that. At least stop the mortgage and don't let them. And you pay, because they're billionaires, mate. You pay the banks what you owed us. You know what I mean? Because it's unfair. Because then, okay, I've got 15 years more to pay on my mortgage. After this is done, they'll have like 16 or 17 years more. Because I've got a backlog now. When they was thinking, oh, we can celebrate yourself, you know what I mean? They've got 2 more years to hang on or a year to hang on. You know? If they're going to do that, they're going to do things properly. And keeping us on tender hooks. Oh, we will refer you there. No, we change our mind. All this is deliberate. Trying to make us go mad, you know. We refer log you to, you know, whatever. I don't seem to keep up with these things because I just can't be arsed. And because I prefer working. I don't really, you know what I mean? Unless the benefit service, you know, unless the benefit service acts as though you've been furloughed, you know what I mean? Which they're bound to. And then you have to go into it and whatever. So they're trying to destroy families. They want to... Satan can't get to the strong man. So he attacks God's children. And a lot is going against men and women, especially men, in certain areas like work. They want to weaken him. Because the man will stand up for his family if he's any man at all. And you fuck with my family. You fuck with my children. But in order for them to weaken them, they've got to destroy their livelihood. And make them so busy concerned, am I going to pay the fucking mortgage? I don't even have mortgage, but I do care about people that have. Am I going to pay the mortgage? Am I going to pay the car insurance? Am I going to pay this? Am I going to pay that? Am I going, you know, and how can I feed my kids? And then they start being irritable with the wife, and just be careful, you know what I mean? Because right now you need to be together, like, but wives also be understanding, and it's going to be hell. But I think in a lot of households, they're getting it together. But there's other households, and physical abuse is gone on the increase big time. Because when I went to do my, what is it? When I went to storage, We're just talking about the car. Me and the nice lady, so nice. And like when I was waiting for the man to come and you know, and you have to show a passport and this and that, you know what I mean? What happened was, we were talking, and she goes, I'm so sorry, your business is probably gone. And you know, she goes, no, it's gone right up. She goes, since the car. And I says, why? She goes, there's so many abused women. I've never seen so much in my life. And that to come with key workers, whatever, some of them. And they're fleeing from their family, their husbands, they're fleeing because they're so scared. You know what I mean? They really, really, really are scared, and they're fleeing. And we had to take their part of the stuff in storage, and they're gone to, oh, come on. It's these famous places that you can go to, where they take care of abused women. You know what I mean? And I looked at her like, you know what I mean? Because I never knew. It's on. No, I actually guess that could happen, and it's on the increase. And not just that, it's not just husbands and wives. It's also families against certain siblings like me. When that happened, I'm not gonna. Don't worry. There's gonna be a time I'll probably talk about it, but not now. Yeah. You know what I mean? That'll come. And I have my reasons for it. I'll explain my reasons why. So abuse is on the increase, big time, especially with women. And she goes, we are fortunate we're here, that we're still here, despite the cost of has come down. But it's really sad. And even though we like business, we like work, and we like to be successful, not this way. She goes, it's terrible. They come and they're crying, and a lot of them, they've lost everything, you know, and they just carried what they can, and they can't go back. And because if the husband borrows everything for you, and it's in his name, and she goes, and they're so sad, and they come with their kids, and some of them, like, if they're married, got the father's name, and he just doesn't want her there, and there's issues with the kids. And she goes, okay, because she didn't want the kids to go in. Some of them, they didn't want the kids to come in because they didn't know where they was going, and this is bad. It's been so much abuse. So men, I know you're frustrated, but pull it together, because God said, and you know what I love about God, when men was being really wicked to women in women in the Bible days, he was saying, hey men, consider your spirit. He could have said, touch her again, you're a dead man, you know what I mean, walking, but he never. He says, he talked to them loving, because he knew that he was the devil, but he doesn't tolerate abuse. And like, sometimes you can just wake somebody up and just be in your face. Why are you hurting her? Just like that. And it'll be, it won't be like a horror movie, but you'll be like so in awe. God, forgive me. And you feel the forgiveness. But sometimes God has to come in a different way, because he does love women so much. You know what I mean? I've heard some testimonies of that. Well, it's kind of different, but you know what I mean? How God had to step in when the man would just keep hitting him. I mean, so just be careful, yeah, because it's not your wives or your girlfriends or your fiance's fault. And the kids that are already gone through trauma can't really show it properly. Just do what you can with your children, because one day they're going to turn around and encourage you. You know what I mean? And I know it's hard sometimes. Sometimes you're living with, if you're living with a little Satan, you know what I mean? I know a beautiful woman, and her son, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's taking drugs, but he was from a sweetie to a demon. He tries to flood the house. He threatens, this is at a young age, to cut the mother up, and she's one of them soft, sweet moms. You know what I mean? And the dad, oh, never mind. You know what I mean? And I gotta get off this. I don't know why I'm going there. I think people need encouragement. Just be careful, gentlemen. Yeah, because you're better than that. And have your kids. And if they're rank, yeah, put them in them place, yeah. Even have to give them a little lick. You know what I mean? You know, show them, look, I'm the man of the house and I love you. But do it in a nice way, because they're probably scared now, you know, and they're not showing it. You know what I mean? So be careful. So my dreams, I've been so diverse. I've had dreams since I was a youth. And I've had dreams of things that God shows me things. When people put on an act, God shows me. Not all the time. Once in a blue. God doesn't show me people's business, even if they hate me. He just doesn't do it. Because he's trustworthy. And God doesn't just show people's business. Like, you show the governments and that. It's got to be a real good purpose to why he does it. And even if someone's hate you and is against you, is trying to do something to you, he won't show it. Unless they have a kind of witchery, evil agenda to destroy you 100%, probably. Like certain that I can't mention right now. And then he'll show you things. He'll show you. You know what I mean? And sometimes he'll show you the reason why. And if somebody... You see, I dated this guy. And I was so in love with him, and he was in me. And he would have been an amazing man, and he is. And he started hitting me. Just suddenly. I never knew. His mother hated him. And she had loads of kids from different fathers. I'd never seen so many fathers in my life. About 6 different fathers. And she couldn't stand him because she hated his father the most. So he was despised by her. And he was despised by her because she looked like the dad. And he didn't like kids, period. So he'd lock him. I never knew all this in the beginning. And he didn't hit me that bad. I mean, you shouldn't, I'm not encouraging you shouldn't really hit women. I suppose I was hit like that, I think. Yeah. Locked him in the cupboard, urinated on him, and kept him there for days. And he had no water, and his mum was telling me she was really treated bad. But then she used to talk bad about him, and I kind of held my peace and thought, how am I going to get through to her? That, okay, he may look like a dad, but Jesus, it's not his fault. You know what I mean? You got to cool it. Because she was older than me. So I kind of encouraged her to love him, you know. And I was saying, you know what? Things like, all the other people's left. And you've got some kids left. And he's the oldest. He could have one of the oldest. He could have left as well. But he never. I think because he's trying to protect you, you know, you've been through so much. Because she's been through a lot of abuse. You know what I mean? And it's not so much hitting abuse. It's people just looking down on her because she's had so many different daddies and she's just looking for love. Like, even I was shocked. I thought, wow. But I didn't say anything. Am I to judge? You know what I mean? And he... Yeah. And I never knew that. Because when he started hitting me, I told her. I knew a few times he did it. And then I could see it in his eyes. He felt so bad. And then that's when she told me what he went through. And instantly, because already I had forgiveness in my heart for him, I said to myself, something's wrong. Something's missing. You can't come from a loving to a monster. Something's wrong. And she told me. And instantly, I forgave him anyway, but I was a bit annoyed. Because I was thinking, he needs to talk to me. And the man now talked to me, because he was a great conversation. We always talked, but he never talked about his past. He talked about his past, but he never talked about that. He kept that hidden. You know what I mean? So I says, instantly, she said that. Just forgiveness and love and mercy. But in the end, I couldn't go out with him because he needed help. But he was really smart. And he was, you know what I mean? I don't think he needed that much help. Though, probably counselling. You know, you go through that shit most of your life. And, you know what I mean? And I told her, she goes, next time I'm going to call the police. And I thought, that's really strong. That's a strong, but I don't know. Why am I going through talking like this, you know? But the government, they're going against everything we hold dear. They're going against all decency. And they're numbing us and dumbing us down. And I dreamt of that a lot. I saw soldiers on the street. The first time I dreamt about it was very short. You know, it was very short. And they were policing us. And I woke up and thought, I looked out the window. I thought, oh, it's a dream. But I knew something was from God. And I started dreaming and rapid. Listen, the amount of dreams I've had, it was so many. I got tired and I wake up in the morning, just look up. I said, I'm not talking to God. I feel like God is tormenting. God ain't tormenting me. I'm not talking to him, you know. And I dreamt of But I dreamt a lot about people being dumbed down. They're going to be hardened. When they see, if they see somebody getting kicked to death, they'll be like, just used to it. You know what I mean? They're going to be used to it. They're going to be dumb. The media's done that, but now they want a quicker dumbing down. And that injection would just about. And even when people have to look, before, right, you had a test, and this is how the test was in America and in Britain. And a woman, she told me, she goes, let's just swab it like, you know what I mean? She says, enough of that ramming down something up your nose. And it was like that, forehead, temperature, and that. Now, they're ramming down your throat. I heard that one woman vomit up in the, I'm too old for that shit. You know what I mean? And up your nostrils. They're trying to get to a certain specific place because this is where we can get your DNA. So they're tormenting you. That's why when I watching that other video of that other woman and she was terrorizing families, that's a part of it. You know what I mean? And I had a letter through this place. I never told anybody. I don't think they really care. This keeps happening. Yeah, I don't think that they really care. And what happened was, they sent a letter and says, it's strictly voluntary, but for your benefit and for your safety and all that bollocks, we want to do a test on you. You can do your own test. We'll come as a team. No, they never talks about own tests. We come as a team and they will explain it. These long letters already. I thought, all right, let me read this. We'll come as a team and we will test you. And we'll come the following week. This is 4 weeks in a row, 4 weeks in a row. And then we'll come every 2 months. They want to torture us like that. What a dirty Lord of mercy. You know what I'm saying? They want to torture us like that. How nasty. Sorry about just a bit earlier when it went out of focus. Maybe because I'm doing a lot of this. And I haven't done this for quite a while. You know what I mean? Apart from the first lockdown, you know. I seem to... When the first lockdown comes, suddenly there's no jobs. You know what I mean? And then I have time for it. But I've got an interview tomorrow. Yeah, somebody phoned me and I've got an interview tomorrow. So. But I still want to do this, you know. And I still want to send these then. Not for a while. Unless I see or hear of something latest. I want to hear them like 2 or 3, not just one. And then I'll just let it go. And so in my dream, I saw soldiers and people walking by and just looking like weary at them. And they're really looking at them. Really looking at them. They were all on the streets. They were guarding the house when we come out. And I couldn't come out because I was a black woman. That's all I remembered. And I just this terrible thing that... I think I said stuff like this before. Or I meant to have. I don't know. But I had money and I had a job. But for some reason I was looking for another job. You know what I mean? And I went into uncharted territory by accident. And it was wasteland. Nobody, no ambulance, nothing goes there. You can kill each other and nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? No statistics. And there's only a few white people there. But everyone else was black. And the water, there was a lake and it was, oh my God, it was so, and I said to myself, and then I started to be grateful. I'm so grateful that I have a nice place to live. So it's not all the time that I dreamt that I was in poverty. I've been dreaming that I've also one of the lucky ones that have made it. So you know, it's so confusing. And also recently I've been having dreams as well. Recently, you know, since the second lockdown, you know, I'm dreaming of my company as well. Like, it's really weird. You know what I mean? But the worst thing is, when I dreamt about them in the beginning. No, let me go back. I'm sorry, I keep skipping. I'm just being natural, really, because that's what a lot of us do. You know what I mean? Just like have a cup of tea, and if you got time, you want to listen, then you know, just listen. It's just imagine me sitting in front of you on a settee. You know what I mean? Everything I dreamt about certain things was Victorian. And I looked up. I went to this place, and I suddenly turned and looked up, and there was that looked like a prison, but it wasn't prison. It was like high-rise flats, whatever, but not too high, like 3-story. And there was on the top, and there's no one at the bottom. You know what I mean? And there was one there for black women, they were dark skin. One there for black men, dark skin. And the women came out screaming, and they was all dressed in Victorian. And this is what I keep noticing, everything's Victorian. Victorian dresses. And the woman, do you know back in the day with nurses and they had the mum and the sister and all that, and or the sister warden, you know, in the hospital, and they would make sure that you take off your uniform before you go out, you know, those strict, and make sure you clean the place and that. It was kind of like them. And so they had authority. So that speaks of authority. And but it looked like, oh God. Anyway, they had a needle, an injection, a long needle, and the woman was screaming and goes, ah, and they're really frightened, the black women. And the cocky nurses, they were just like, don't worry, you know, like sarcastic, because they know they're going to kill him or do whatever. And they didn't give a shit. And I believe there's not doctors and nurses like that now, but not a lot of them, hopefully not, you know what I mean? Because before the COV, they were killing people anyway. Nurses, there was one or two nurses that was speaking out, you know what I mean? But I don't think it was on the media. And when an old person reaches a certain age, they pump them too much morphine because they just want to get rid of them and get rid of the bed. And if a nurse knows that, and then remember Dr. Death and then the one that was killing babies. So if you think that I'm being wicked, how could you say that about? Shut up and fucking get clued up, mate. I mean it. I don't give a shit what you think. If you want to see, and I'm supposed to be the naive one. If you want to think everything's rosy, it's not. So back to the black women. They got the needle and they rammed it through the neck and pressed the thing, and they just, I don't know if they died, fainted, but I felt like they fainted. They, you know, using them, changing their DNA. On this side, the black men, they were dressed up in kind of like Victorian prison clothes, and the bars were like prison. And I suddenly saw them running out on the balcony, you know, and I don't know how they got out because there were bars there, but they're just running out and they're screaming like, somebody help me, sir, but there's nobody there to help you. No one there gives a shit, nobody there to help you. And then a force just quickly dragged them back in with like a speed of light, like you see Superman 1 minute, you don't, through the metal bar, like their bodies could just go through it. Oh God. And God knows what they're doing to them. I didn't understand what it was prison bar, and they had on prison old-fashioned clothes. I know for a fact that the it's everything was like Victorian. The Victorian, this is speaking of what is happening is coming from a Victoria era that is coming in, that's came into time. You got people that have got the values of the Victorian era and wickedness. There's a lot of wickedness in the Victoria era, you know, believe it or not. And the people, the elites in them, Victoria era, Victoria mind. That's why they call it, I think, Victoria. Victoria mindset. It's that stern, cold, nasty way of treating people. Even when you go to hospital back in the times, a nurse is ready to smile at you, especially if you're black. They're like, lie down and go to bed. I'm turning off the light, don't get up, you know what I mean? I only went to hospital once in my life when I was little. And they had that sister, Warden Mary, and she was like stern, she was all over to everyone, and I'm thinking, we're just kids. I was 5. And I'll never forget that, ever. You know what I mean? Because I got run over. And a car smashed into me. That's why I got this. And somebody attacked me. And threw this at me there when I was little. If I remember. On purpose. And it split open. It split open once, but probably get the exact same spot. So people think this is a wrinkle, it's not. And I should have been dead. Because it slammed into my chest, my head. And I had only a tiny little mark. Just to show that it wasn't a dream, it happened. And I landed on the ground, and you know what? I never felt a thing. Everybody was shocked that I had no broken bones, nothing, and I was only 5. And I remember getting up, because our family was not Christian, period. We just used to run Christians, like I loved the Lord, but I didn't like Christians, you know. And they locked the door, And the only time me and my mum got on is when she used to have pleasure slamming the door in the face. Me don't want you, me don't want here. And I'd be like, no! You know what I mean? And there's a reason for that, you know. I mean, I think I met some hypocrites, I don't know. But I really strongly believe that. And so I didn't, the gospel, I was okay with it. But I really heard it, you know. I just believed in God and Jesus, and it came from somewhere. You know what I mean? But I just did, like, I said, me go to church, you mad? And then I started going to church decades later, and I don't go to church anymore, but one day, you know, I'm going to go back. You know what I mean? So, you know, it came from a Victorian era. It come from the minds of the elites and Rockefellers. They've been, you know, the elites, Victorians, and the conservative been running this nation for as long as, you know, and running it straight into the ground. And now they want to hasten speed and do it even more. You know what I mean? So the black men, when they got, I kept thinking, how did they get through the bar? But I didn't see anybody. But the speed in which they went through is demonic. So this is a stronghold. This is Satan himself. He's targeting black men. And he's targeting black men. And the bars, I was like, why they're in prison? God is, you know, I believe when that black guy went out, he was released from prison and he started stabbing all these people. Just stabbing them. And he went back in prison. I'm thinking now, because I had a really terrible dream. I wasn't really thinking of him that much. I did a bit, but I was working and I wasn't really thinking of him. And I was working. Oh, the light, too much. And I wasn't really thinking of him, and I was working. And then I kind of just stopped thinking of him. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't know who it was. I didn't know it was a black man at first. And I heard it was a black man. I was shocked, you know. And it was a black man. And he was a black man. Oh, and I had a dream. And I dreamt that I was living in this new place. And it was two-part of a dream, you know. I won't tell you the first one. I don't think it matters now. One day I might, but not now. And I went out and to get something. I had something on the stove and to come back. And then this black man came to me and he sat there and he was just talking to me. And he was acting just a little bit strange, but non-threatening. I sensed that he wouldn't hurt me. But something says, Fiona, pick up your stuff and go. I wasn't going to deal with his shit because I couldn't even understand what he was saying. He was like dumbed down, like saying all kinds of... I was thinking, what the fuss? We got no time. And normally I try to reason with him, see if I can get some sense. Maybe he needs help, but I was thinking of my own safety. And I tried to get my stuff and it was hard. I couldn't get my stuff. I don't know why, it was just really difficult. I was trying to pick them up and I didn't want to leave anything behind, you know. And then suddenly some guys came walking. And they were walking. And they saw the guy and they started teasing him and that. And you know what? The worst thing was, they were quite away from him. And they never had no knives on them. Oh, they did, but I didn't see it. Because I kind of looked and I thought, Jesus Christ, this is getting worse. Let me get my stuff now. And I still couldn't get my stuff, so I just grabbed what I could and I just left. But before I did that, they said, you think you can escape me? And they was doing their hands like that. You think you can escape me, can you? You think you can escape me? And there was like 1.5 meters away from him. And they were going like that. And I thought, oh God, they're showing off, but they seemed like trouble, let me go. You know what? The man was dead. They killed him, they knifed him. I didn't see it. I didn't understand it. And then when I saw that, I tried to go and they blocked me and they goes, you're not going anywhere. You've seen it now, it's too late, you're next. And then I couldn't believe how much of a coward I was in that dream. I was so scared and I thought, if it's a dream, you think it's real? I thought it was real. And I said to him, what did I say? I said to him, listen, let us just talk. You don't have to, I keep saying, you don't have to do this. You're not bound by it. You're better. I was appealing to his neck. If he had any, you're better than this. Don't do stuff that you'll destroy. And I could see it in his eyes, like he was turning, and he looked sad, and he turned away because I was appealing to him because he seemed so dumb now. And he was doing the same to me. And I didn't see the knife. No, was there a knife there? Yeah, I saw the knife this time. But it was like nearly 1 meter away from me. Well, just a bit closer. It's impossible for him to, because he was like he was showing off. I'm not really going like this. And I was thinking, God, I'm going to die. This isn't fair. He says, no. I said to him, no, don't, please. I was so scared. And then I can see it in his eyes. I was appealing to up here. Because they seem to be like on another trip. You know? And I was appealing to him. And I know I was getting to him because his eyes were like watering. Have you watched these fucking movies, yeah? These sci-fi movies where someone's been reprogrammed and they want to try and kill the woman, but she recognised him. Oh my God, I thought you were dead. You remember we was in love? We were supposed to be engaged, no, really, we were in love. And she appeals to him and then he goes, you know what I mean? He was like that shit, mate. You know what I mean? So what happened was, I suddenly woke up and I couldn't believe I woke up. I thought it was real, and I was thinking, God, there's so much. I got my children, you know, I was thinking all that. I didn't see my life flash before me or anything, but I just thought of my children and thought of all the things that I still want to achieve in life. And I woke up. And probably God is showing me this is how people feel before they go. You know what I mean? And then God's made me realise you should have been dead. But I saved you. In the last days, it's going to be my strong hand that is going to save you. And I'll use whoever I want to save you. And I've given you this sweet mouth. So stop your cursing. Stop your this, that. You use your mouth on grace. Because sometimes I need telling off. You know what I mean? I'm not wicked, but I can be like annoying. Use your mouth, and sometimes I might not always do it, but I'm going to try my best by the grace of God, because I honor him. Use your mouth for grace. This is what you do when you appeal to people and you do it and you're sincere. You're going to get through to them. You're going to get through because it's a strong goal. You're going to get through to that hardened heart that Satan has bound in, because Satan bound me. He's bound us all, you know what I mean? And we don't even know. We just think, oh, it's our personality. But if you go around feeling like, I want to battle the shit out of him, I want to kill him, then something wrong, you know? So that's what he's saying. You know what I mean? And I saved you. You weren't to be dead. There was still another connection. I still couldn't connect the dot. There was another connection. There was another connection. And then the penny dropped. And I'm glad I heard this after. Because if I heard it before, I could have dreamt about it and then I wouldn't have. You see how God is clever? He gave me all these dreams before the internet, before this, before I knew my arse from my, you know what I mean? And I was getting knowledge, but things of the world, but not quite like this. I never knew about the Illuminati. I never knew. There's so much things I never knew. You know what I mean? And thanks to whistleblowers, I know. You know, and people that write books, I know. You know what I mean? And so we can't. So I can't say. I mean, you lot can call me a liar. You're just silly, dumb, and I don't care because I know. And when you know, have you ever known that you know that you know that you know that you know, and people call you a liar, and you just don't give a shit because you know? It's like, because you weren't there, like you lot weren't in my dreams. You know what I mean? So I know. So what happened was, I think it was in the paper. Somebody was reading it out, and they says, "Oh my God." I says, "What?" I says, "Oh, they're reading about the black guy." And I was about to say, "I can't be asked." You know what I mean? The life is miserable. I feel really bad because I saw it in the paper. And one of the guy, he was so young, and I thought, "Oh my God, his parents must." And you know what I mean? It's so bad. So I just thought, oh, let her roll on. And I'm glad I did. You know what she says? There was a witness who says, when the black guy came to hurt one of the women, or whoever it was, he wasn't really standing that close to her. And I thought, because she was a witness, because you know they want witnesses. I wasn't that far from him either. And I thought that he was showing us something on the phone. He was so casual. You know what I mean? He never had the demeanour of killing. And the next thing I heard is you know what I mean? And because she was kind of looking, but I don't think she was looking that much. You know, so it must have just suddenly, you know what I mean? And when she said that, the dream hit me like that. I don't know if that's going to be a pattern. Please, God, no. But what if in prison they fucked with his mind, went out and did what he did, controlling him because he acted so casual, and then suddenly, you know, what if it's that? And what if that might be a pattern? You know what I mean, of dumbing down, because I used to dream so much of the dumbing down, and I said to myself, they dumb down, what's going on? And Imogen was like, I don't understand, like social distancing. Oh my God, the streets are so empty, where is everybody? I'm like a child saying it in my dream, you know. It's like, why is that guy being angry when that person walks past him? Why am I only here? Where's it? You know what I mean? It's like a ghost town. He says, where's everybody? And then I'm walking past. Why is there people on the I thought this country was going to become a snob. Why are people sitting there? Why are people sitting there? And why has this man got not enough food? He owns a restaurant. What's going on? Why are these soldiers there? And I saw soldiers murdering, beheading. And I don't know if that's going to be this, because I sent a video around for everyone and says they're predicting by 2025, if there's like 94 million people in this country, there's only going to be like, let's say 30. So where the fuck did the rest go? You know what I mean? So you know, I've been dreaming all these lots of soldiers in different ways, and just lots of them. They're just constantly manning the streets and monitoring people's movements. So they're looking at them, and I never dreamt of the mask though, because if I did that, I probably would have guessed. So God kept that out. I can't remember dreaming of the mask, but I dreamt of everything I saw. The social distance, people are not really being close together. And I noticed when even the family was sitting together, there wasn't really that close. And normally people just gel up and they laugh and they lean on each other. I never saw that. And I thought that this country was going to become a snob. So I never knew, did I? You know what I mean? I dreamt of all kinds of things. And I dreamt of the dumbing down. I dreamt recently that this bunch of black guys was wearing like sissy clothes and that, like plastic yellow clothes. I said, no, and this white plastic over it, and but what I saw was terrible. They were kind of going like this, and there was, you know what I mean? It was changing the language. They changed the language. They were dumbing them down. You know what I mean? And the thing is, they were doing it simultaneously all at once, and they was behind each other like a robot. And one of the worst dreams I had. Okay, back to the beheading. A woman was beheaded, and a woman was looking there. She goes, "Oh my God, oh." You know what I mean? I've been seeing a lot of that. Like normally, with Jesus Christ, that's disgusting. Or we cry, or I hate these people. They just like accept it. I saw that live, not live, but I saw that on telly with the Grenfell Tower. You know what I mean? And I don't want to go into that. One day I'm gonna go into that, but I'm not gonna go into that because probably this will be the last video I'm gonna make. You know, who knows? But I think it will for now. And there's dumbing down of people. And when the woman was beheaded, and then there was another one, she kind of was laughing. You know what I mean? And someone being beheaded because they're trying to change your conscience. You know, they're changing your DNA. So and some of you might not believe this, but what can I say? So what happened was come on. Yeah, I had a dream. I'm saying this quick, then it's over. I had a dream, and this wife and husband and a child went to this place, and there was a lot more to the dream, and there was some heat. I don't think it was fire per se, but there was some heat way back, you know, and it made his neck bubble. One thing I noticed about the woman, I sense her overwhelming love, genuine love for this man, that she's so happy to be with him. That's her husband, she's so happy. But you know what happened? He was the last one to come in, so there was this heat thing, and it bubbled on his neck. And instantly, it bubbled on his neck. And he didn't really take it that serious, but then when he realised his body was splitting apart, dissecting this way, there's no blood pouring. All the blood was like jelly, and all his other part was like jelly. And I was just staring at his wife a lot, looking at him and staring at his wife, because I sensed so much love, and I just wanted in that dream, for some reason, I felt led to just stare at her, because I thought she was going to go, oh my God, my husband. No, that she just looks at him dying like that, body splitting open, and like he's going, oh well. And he tried to run out the door and he couldn't, and his body just tore about. But while his body was turned about, he should have died instantly because of the organs, and he was still alive trying. You know what I mean? So are we going to be a bunch of dopey? Me don't know, you know, but me gone now. So hope you enjoy these stories. And no, I always leave with something nice. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And that promise is to your children, children, children. Yeah, and I should talk more about God, but I just want to get this that way.